shoes. I forgot. 1 second. These bad boys off. That's all I'm getting. You know what time it is. It is time for another book video. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. Today I'm all dressed up because I'm going to one of my friend's birthday party, Gabby. Happy birthday, Gabby, if you're watching. But today I decided I'm gonna film a video of the books that I've read in the summer. Because honestly, this summer was a win. Like, I don't think I've read any bad book remotely. That's probably because I also look at reviews a lot, so yeah. You guys should also follow me on Goodreads to see my ratings of each book. They're not very descriptive, but they do have ratings. And you guys should also check out my Instagram for my Instagram highlights that show my personal ratings with wordings of the books I've read in the past. So without further ado, let's get started. The first book I've read this summer was People We Meet on Vacation. This was like a really good start because I was on my romantic book grind. This book was like friends to like distance to like friends to lovers type vibe. I probably worded that super badly, but oh well. I rated this book overall 3.5 stars. That is such a good rating though. I'm very picky with my ratings, but this was a really good, like, perfect summer book. If you're on a road trip or if you're flying on a plane, you should definitely read this. Basically, the book is about two friends that meet up every summer on vacation to spend that week on vacation with, like, every summer. And it keeps on going back from present to past. During that, there's kind of like an off period where they didn't talk for a couple years. So you'll find out why that is when you read later on into the book. But overall, I really like it, and I think you would like it too if you are like a hopeless romantic and you dream of like the perfect guy that has really good hygiene, reads books, stuff like that, you know. The second book I read this summer was Daisy Jones and the Six. It was also because like I loved The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I could tell that I would like her other books because I really loved the writing style in that one. Sorry, I gotta fix my choker. But yeah, I really recommend this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I really loved her writing. It's about obviously Daisy Jones during the beginning of her career, and it's basically an interview style, which is, I don't know why some people don't like that because it was pretty easy to read, like their names were there. And I didn't really use audiobook, but if you do not like interview style, I would recommend listening to audiobook or just listen to it while you're reading it. But I had no problem with it and I still love the book, so yeah. She had her on her career and then she intertwined with this band, and there was basically kind of like a love triangle going on because I don't know if that's spoiling it. Well, I can't spoil it, but it's basically like based in the 70s and I think a little bit in the 60s, but I really love different eras in the 20th century. Reading those books just like, I don't know, it fuels my old soul. I guess you could say. There is a trigger warning of drugs, like, I don't know, maybe eating disorder and alcoholism, but it's not super duper triggering, if that makes sense. You will grow to love like most of the characters, so you should read it if you're gonna read a book. Yeah. The third book I read was Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid because, like I said, like I really love her writing style. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars, and if I were to choose the perfect book to read in the summer, read Malibu Rising. Basically, it's about 4 siblings. They host this summer party every year also about their parents, which is Mick Riva from The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and who also made an appearance in Daisy Jones and Six. And it's about his wife too, and how the siblings choose to end it. I don't know if that's a spoiler too. Trigger warning, there is abuse and alcoholism, so, but like I said, this was the best book I've read this summer. If there was a 6 stars out of 5 stars, I would rate it that. I feel like I should start doing that, because there are 5-star reads, but they're not personally like, you know, your like top tier favorites, but Malibu Rising was one of mine. So the 4th book I read was Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. There wasn't really nothing wrong with it. It was just like reading that after reading like something about trauma. It's just like, you know, it's a little cheesy. If you're a hopeless romantic like me, you'll love it. I also love how they're both like book lovers. That's how they become friends in their childhood. And there's a distance in it. Lovers. And it really this book really shows that communication is important, because if they communicated properly, there wouldn't have been the distance, but you'll find that out. I absolutely love this, and I recommend. So cringy. Anyways, the next book I read was Looking for Alaska. I rated this book a 3 out of 5 stars. It was a pretty good book. It was just like, I probably shouldn't have read it in the summer. Like, if I read it in the between fall and winter, I would have probably rated it higher. It's a realistic, and I love John Green's writing style, but there is a trigger warning about drugs, alcohol, suicide, death, emotional abuse. It's a lot. I think it's like one of those books that are like very close to being a classic that everyone should read. Overall, it was good. Just personally not my top tier book, but I still love it, and I can see myself reading it again. The 6th book, which I'm currently reading, is The Guest List, and I'm like over halfway down, so I feel like I should still be able to give a rating. I rated a 3.5 out of 5 stars, and it's pretty good, and I can tell I'm gonna read another book from Lucy Foley. This is the first thriller book I read in a while, so it was like, of course I'm gonna rate it a little bit higher. It is in English, but it kind of has like European terms, I think. Is that the right word? I don't know. But trigger warning, there is body issues and murder, obviously. It's a thriller and a mystery, sort of, but it doesn't scare me, so I can like literally read it before I go to bed and not be spooked. Yeah, but overall it's a really good book. And the last book I read was Atomic Habits, and I feel like it's essential, so I'm not going to give it a rating. Yeah, you should read it if you're looking to develop good habits and like stick with it, because it's really hard to like stick to a habit for a very long time, because there's always going to be that awkward period where you break it and then you go back to it again, and it's basically how to end the cycles, and I recommend because it's really helping. But yeah, those are the 7 books I read this summer. I was hoping to read more, but like everyone else, I was in a major book slump. I'm so glad I'm not alone with that, because even like the book talkers were in a reading slump, and it's okay, because I feel like during the school year I will read more books. Even though I won't have as much time, it will give me a downtime activity. Now, honestly, I recommend all these books. You don't have to read them in the summer, but most of them gave that summer vibe, especially in Malibu Rising and People We Meet on Vacation. Like, those are summer books, but everything else, like, you can read any time of the year. So, I recommend. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I promise I'm trying to upload more. It's just that most days I literally look like I came out of bed and I'm just like, no, we're not gonna film. Hopefully, if you have any video ideas, make sure to comment it down below, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you know when I post, and click the all button so it sends you all of the notifications. And if you comment, I promise I will respond or like your comment. I also forgot I need to film a room tour, so don't worry guys, I didn't. Well, I did forget, but it's coming. It's coming. Well, this is awkward, so